So it looks like the use of the XRP ledger is getting global adoption. In this video, I'm going to talk about what they're doing down in Colombia that gives the XRP ledger a much more substantial real-world use case other than just finance. I'm going to tell you what they're doing. And not only that, we have the CTO of Ripple, David Schwartz, one of the co-creators of XRP and the XRP ledger, announcing that something new is coming to the XRP ledger platform. And it's not something that's getting a lot of attention, but I wanted to bring attention to it in this video and explain why it could be big news for the future. Also, a very big milestone for XRP in the amount of people actually using it. I'm going to tell you about what a recent chart that I looked at says about how many people are now using XRP. Hey everyone, my name is Randy. Welcome back to the Late Night Grind. And right now on this channel, we are covering Ripple versus the SEC case, but I'm also covering cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all these topics interest you, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the Late Night Grind community. Also, I wanted to make a special announcement because I'm finally getting content up on my Patreon account. So if you've been a member of my Patreon for a month or two and you're really anticipating that content, well, it is now live. I have my first video up there. And I'm talking about what I'm most bullish on for the next couple of weeks, for the next month, and for the rest of the year. I'm specifically talking about one project, one cryptocurrency that you might want to keep an eye on, because for a few bucks a month, I'm going to be deep diving into a lot of these projects that have the biggest chance of making you some money if you're thinking about investing in cryptocurrencies, doing some trading, things like that. This is my first piece of content, and I'm not just going to be creating videos for that. I have several others lined up on my spreadsheets already in terms of what I'm going to be covering, what news topics I'm going to be covering that I don't exactly cover on this channel here. So if you want to get a little more of a deep dive, you want to look at some of the charts, some of the price expectations of some, say, altcoins, macroeconomics, things like that, go ahead and check out my link to the Patreon below, because this month is the month that a lot of transition is going to be happening, and some of the things to look at specifically from an altcoin metric you're going to want to pay attention to. So right now I got my first piece of deep dive content on Patreon in terms of things you might want to pay attention to specifically in the next week or two. So of course, for the cost of a small lunch, you could essentially get something that's going to be a lot more value than that. So go ahead and check out the link to my Patreon, put that in the description below. Also, I really do appreciate you smashing the thumbs up button and watch this video all the way to the end, because those three things are the best thing that you can do to support a YouTube channel. So with that, let's jump into it. Okay, so first thing that I wanted to get into here is what the XRP ledger is now being used for on a country scale. And that is the announcement that Ripple just made a few days ago, working with the country of Colombia. They've been working with a technology partner to build out something in which they're going to be using land registrations on top of the XRP ledger, which has never been done before. So this kind of goes along with creating yet another use case, not just for cryptocurrency and for blockchain, but specifically for the XRP ledger. Now this land registration, they're actually hoping to have over 100,000 land registrations in the first year. It's still going to be going through some proof of concept, but of course there's a lot of other countries keeping an eye on this to see what comes of it. Because what they're going to be doing with this is using blockchain, you can verify land ownership. They're going to be doing it through QR code, through XRP stamps, which are part of the blockchain essentially ecosystem, that if you've been in the NFT world or researched NFTs, it's part of the reason that NFTs became so popular, is because you can't essentially duplicate an NFT. It's a proof of ownership, it's a proof of transfer. So this is what they're doing, but for land ownership. So it's been billed as another one of those large-scale adoption use cases for, like I said, not just cryptocurrency, but big for the XRP ledger. And going on top of some of that news, David Schwartz, who's the CTO of Ripple, he's one of the co-creators of the XRP ledger, he actually recently announced that they've developed something called CLIO 1.0, and that's essentially an API service that is going to allow people that transact value over the XRP ledger to do so while transferring a ton more information and making it incredibly more scalable than it already is. So who the sender of that value is, who the receiver of that value is, on top of some other information that's going to be, can then get access to it from the people that are transacting the value, is going to be widely available. It's going to be much more scalable than anything like that has already been done. And if that sounds familiar, it's because it kind of sounds like what ISO 20022 is. And the last I heard, the adoption of ISO 20022 has been pushed off for another year or two. It's something for another video, but nonetheless, ISO 20022 is basically a banking standard in which banks and organizations that transact money cross borders have to have specific messaging information available to them. I think the reason that Ripple took on this project was to make it so that transacted value over the XRP ledger becomes even more valuable because of the information that can be accessed to it and from it. And this will, of course, work for RippleNet customers in existence, as well as for those who are trying to become ISO 20022 compliant. All right, so now I have some information about XRP. Yeah, I know, shocking. And this one specifically revolves around how many people are actually using XRP, not just sending or trading or doing any of that, but actually the amount of daily wallets that are accessing their XRP and are using it to transact, buy, sell, etc. 200,000 daily active addresses are using their XRP wallets, which is significantly higher than their previous timeframes. In fact, it was In fact, the last couple of weeks, it was far, far lower than that, less than 100,000 per day, actually. So it literally spiked recently, and a lot of people are assuming because of the information coming out about the Ripple case possibly coming to an end, as well as all these other use cases that are now hitting the mainstream media, that Ripple's announcing, that are hitting Twitter and YouTube, that a lot of people are accessing their XRP because they think it's going to be moving upward in terms of pricing. And they're probably not wrong. They probably watch my channel. They probably watch several other channels that cover the Ripple case, that cover altcoins, that cover trading, things like that. And they can see that XRP is at a great accumulation level, meaning, yes, it's currently a low level and could potentially go a lot lower than it is right now. But from a chart standpoint, it's definitely if not in a buy zone now, it will be in a buy zone very, very shortly. In fact, if you watch one of my previous videos, I talk about what it could possibly take to get an 11 cent XRP, which in my opinion is not out of the realm of a possibility. And to figure that out, you got to keep an eye on Bitcoin and you got to keep an eye on the dollar, the DXY. In that video, I said it could go to 110, 112, 115 or higher. Well, just this morning, it spiked from 105 to 106.6, and it doesn't show any signs of slowing down. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on for the rest of what the crypto market could be priced in at. And so as we look at XRP and some of the other altcoins, I wanted to mention Terra Classic, because recently it actually pumped over 500%. It drew back since then, but it's not the only one. Atom also was up 12% just the other day. Basic Attention Token jumped 12% in a day. Wave jumped 7% in a day. And these numbers were all happening while Bitcoin wasn't doing a whole lot. If it did go up, it only went up maybe 0.5% to 1%. So while that's somewhat correlated to the price of Bitcoin, some of these altcoins are starting to do their own thing, which is why I want to direct your attention to my Patreon account, because the one altcoin that I'm talking about is one of those that's not necessarily coupled to the exact movements of Bitcoin, although it is somewhat. Its movements to the upside could be, the charts are showing that the movement to the upside could be a lot more than the rest of the alt market. So once again, just wanted to direct your attention to that link in the description about the Patreon account. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end, and of course, for smashing that big thumbs up button. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.